Hello folks, this is Elkie Hillbilly. Got me a Masterbuilt electric smoker. It's actually a pretty good little unit if it's working. Problem is it doesn't work for very long. And why? Because when you smoke meats, moisture is released. And every hole that you see is a place for moisture to come out. And moisture gets into this box, which is your control box. You can see on this side that it's got corrosion from water. Okay, this is a really bad design. These are injection plastic molded, and it's like they forgot a couple of parts, but they just don't sell the parts with them. There's another part that's where they cut, when they plastic injection mold it, that they cut loose. So this is this whole thing here is made at another factory. The board is attached at another place, probably wherever they put the whole units together. Another problem is that, you see, I have tape down the side. These rivets are not big enough to hold this on, and those rivets popped out right there. So I just used a little piece of tape to take care of that. No big deal, really. But where's the big deal is that this controller still is not fully functional. Not like it was when I first got it. Now, I smoke a lot, so it became very apparent to me. I've only had this unit for 2 weeks, and in that time I've smoked 2 big turkeys, a full chicken, and then chicken breasts and chicken legs, barbecued. And that was when the problem started. I went outside, unit turned on, but everything was flashing. It was flashing like that, but it shouldn't have been. Okay, now I should just be able to push the temp button and it goes straight to the temp to where I can reset the temperature, but I'm holding it down and it's not doing anything. So that was working fine. This one, that's the way it's supposed to work. So I should be able to push those buttons. That sets the timer. Then I should be able to push that button, just push it, and it go to the temp, but it's not. Now this is how it normally functions. And then you can turn the heat on. It only goes up to 275. So now it will not activate it won't activate the element inside. It's electric, so it's just got it's a element like a hot water heater uses. I actually have a control box for another system that I use for moonshining or cooking things. It goes into a pot, and I've got a control box for it. It'll go up to 700 degrees on that one. Anyway, so if you push the time and you go up and set this, see that light came on. Now that's all working fine, but that's only because I've dried it out. And here's where the problem is. This right here is where all the problem is, that hole, and the way it mounts up into, I mean, you would think that they would do some research and development on something like this, because it's actually a really simple fix, and I'm going to fix it, and I'll show another video on it. But anyway, this whole unit went to crap on me, and it's of no use if this controller doesn't work. You know, it's like having a light switch and expect, if the light switch doesn't work, and expect the light bulb to come on. So anyway, this box sits on here like that. Okay, so here's the screw, here's the bottom of that opening. This collects moisture, gets heated up from the inside, the smoke coming up, the humidity coming up, condensation. If you have condensation outside, if you use it the first time, you're going to get condensation in here from both the smoke and humidity coming from inside the unit. That's going to go out this hole and that hole. This grommet right here is not sealed down in there, and smoke does come out of this, as well as humidity. That gets inside the box. The humidity hits this and turns right back to water. Water then gets onto the controller, and once it fills the controller, no longer does it function properly. It'll flash, it'll beep, it'll do all kinds of neat stuff for you, but it's not supposed to. The simple fix is to get this away from any humidity sources. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use hot glue and make a seal that's going to go right around this real nice. So when this box closes and I screw it back down, there will be no way I could submerge that box, and there will be no water that comes in and around this area here. So, but my biggest problem is this hole. How do I keep that from having a problem? Well, easy solution is to make a rubber grommet that only allows, once you pull this through. So I'll have this set off to the side where it's not on that grommet, and it'll be able to sit there. This piece, I'll have a grommet that I make that fits in here solid with a hole in it that I can put this wire through. So it'll be a split grommet, as they call it, and that will seal this. But I'll also put some styrofoam in here. I've got plenty of styrofoam from boxing stuff up. I got plenty of it. So I'll cut the styrofoam, glue it inside here to keep this from getting any kind of moisture buildup. The styrofoam won't condensate on the top. As long as I keep that seal around it, this will be protected, and it'll make that so that no water is going to get in there. And you can literally see where this hole is, right about here on this, and these two screws are rusted. So if you get one of these, be prepared to get another one of those, and damn sure don't want to attach it if at all possible. It's better if you just go ahead and leave it off to the side, and just take a piece of tape, put it over that, take some more tape, wrap it around there, and it'll be weather tight where no water can get in. This right here is just button system that has, you could run some clear silicone around it if you wanted to, whatever, but you don't really need to. So it could sit out in the rain, because I ended up having to smoke in my garage yesterday. Rain came in, and there is no way that this can be outside like a regular smoking system with wood. So I would give this Masterbuilt a rating of, out of 5, I'd give it a 3. And the only reason it gets a 3 instead of a 0 is because it is a good smoker. It holds humidity. It holds so that you can make really good smoked turkey or smoked chicken, any kind of fish. Smoke that really well. You can take out the water pan, use the heating element with the smoke, and it will dry really fast and really well. So that gives it a good plus, but everything has to go through rigorous, research, and they didn't do that with this unit. So for me, this is just one of those things that should have been done. I mean, a couple of simple things. I wouldn't use rivets on the side. The rivets are just Whirlpool. We have a Whirlpool production facility here in Tulsa, where I live close to. I've actually worked there, as well as I had family members who worked there. And I was part of the electronics team for a little while. And so I have a little bit of knowledge as to how this stuff works. The seal around the cabinet, real good seal. It's got a locking clasp that is really good. It's adjustable. And you don't want to mash that seal down. You want to make it where it's tight so that the smoke doesn't escape, but you don't want to make it so tight that it depresses that seal, because it does get heated up. And if you make it too tight, that seal won't seal anymore after just a couple of uses. So there's another problem that they don't tell you about in the instructions. So good unit to have, but you're going to have to do a couple of things. And I'll have another video whenever I put this together showing how I make this better. I will cover this hole. I know that I have space in here there's about 1 inch of space between this and the top of the smoker. And the way I know that is by this unit here. I took this nut off and was able to see how much distance I had between the two. So I'll just take a piece and make that right there, and I'll use metal epoxy to cover this hole. And then I'll put a shoe on here that this screw will slide into. It'll still be able to attach at the back. And I will fill this cavity up so that there's no way that any moisture can get into the holes. Each one of those screws will also have Loctite so that they can't get any moisture, as well as, like I said, I'll take styrofoam, put it around so that it fills this void, so that lessen the amount of space in here. Will keep any condensation from being able. This should just really be all plastic. It should just be a plastic box on the inside of here. They don't have to make it solid plastic. It's just, where this motherboard just mounts up. And that's all it should do. It just mount in there, and then the rest of this be closed off. Less amount of open space that you have is less amount of space that you have to get condensation buildup, because the motherboards do take electricity. They use a transformer type system that transforms the AC basically to DC to power the unit. The AC does go to the coil, but what controls this is just they have to transition it to DC, and that powers the board. But it still creates heat. So the board does create heat. And if it's cold outside, everybody has had a cup of coffee and knows that a hot cup of coffee will get moisture, condensation will build up on the outside of it when you're outside, and you'll have or you can do it the opposite, cold drink outside on a warm day. More often than not, you'll get condensation buildup, and you don't want that inside of any electrical component that is like this. It would be simpler just to make a couple of switches and use a battery powered clock than to do it this way. I mean, the temperature sensor that's hooked up to it, all that, it's just, I mean, it could be done so much simpler. And I actually have a friend still with Whirlpool that I am talking to about this, and seeing what we can't come up with ourselves to make an electric smoker that uses a couple of elements that are for what we would use for a electric water heater. So make it more efficient and bigger. And you know, it's all because I bought this that I like to invent. I invent a lot of stuff. You know, yes, I do make moonshine stills. Don't have to make moonshine. Making the moonshine still is not illegal, but making alcohol is. So you can make fuel with it though. And so I'm going to take that design and put that to use with a smoker. Taken from what I got here. I actually have my cabinet all ready for it. Going to change some things out in it, drill some holes, make a dryer into a smoker, and then we'll build from there and hopefully get a unit out to the public in the future. But anyway, that's what makes me the Okie Hillbilly. I take the mundane and change it into something that you can actually is fully functional and you can use in your home or outside your home to do different things. Saves me a lot of money. I don't throw away scraps. Obviously you can see the trash. I do clean up usually, but this is just, we're in a transition right now. So anyway, thanks for watching, and y'all take care.